to make use this course effectively and the course content. And end of the sessions Q&A. Okay, this is how it is. So coming to myself, who am I? Okay. So as I said, I'm Krishna, and I have 15 years of experience in IT development. Since starting off my career, I have been working on JavaScript actually. Okay, so from client-side data validation to partial page rendering, like updating partial page, at the same time developing single-page applications. Okay, which is the current trend actually. Making use of React, Angular, or Ember.js, or any other client-side framework, we do use and develop client-side applications. Nothing but single-page applications. Okay, it is not just client-side frameworks I have been working on. It is on backend as well, like Node, Express, Nest.js, and .NET Core. That is not on JavaScript basically. That is related to .NET. Okay, and I do have command on databases like MySQL, MS SQL, and MongoDB. Okay, so in overall, I have been working as a full stack developer. Okay, and I have been working as an architect currently, and with full stack experience of 15 years basically. Okay, now about this course. So we know React is the one that we can make use to develop single page applications, right? So what is it built on? It is built on top of JavaScript. Okay. In order to understand React, let us suppose even if you try to get a job in React, the first fundamental questions the interviewer asks is about JavaScript. It is not directly on React actually. The fundamental questions he asks about is JavaScript. So the basic understanding of and familiarity with JavaScript is quite important before you knowing React. So we start with JavaScript. It would take around 5 days. So the approach which I am taking to explain you is, it is not like how do you learn actually. So the fundamental way to learn is understanding the concept and then applying that concept and then deriving interview questions from this concept. The time when you are attending interviews, most of you, I'm sure, you go to interview questions and read the questions and attend the interview. This is how it would happen. But if you understand the concept itself, if you could derive the interview questions themselves, right? Then in such a case, if the interviewer asks one question, you would not only tell that question, you would say the surrounding answers also you can answer. That is the power of concept basically. So I prefer to explain the concept, and I want to derive interview questions out of this concept. That is how it is going to be. And at the same time, we are going to work on examples, actually code examples, how it is, why it is. Okay, so this is how it is going to be. And then of course it is not just JavaScript. You need to learn HTML and CSS as well. But thing is that if you think let us suppose if you think a web page, okay, first thing is that you see a structure. Okay, something is there, okay, on the left side, right side, and the bottom, in the top, in the middle, the content would be there. Okay, and that is called the structure. Where to put what? Okay, some kind of elements are placed. They are painted again with the help of CSS. This is static. Up to this is static, right? So there is no dynamic behavior. In order to give dynamic behavior, we have to use JavaScript. We can use JavaScript in the form of React, Angular, or Ember.js, or any other client-side framework actually. Okay, but thing is that JavaScript is fundamental. You have to know JavaScript. So and then And then we dig into React. This is how it is going to be. Okay. What is this course for? If you have some understanding about HTML and CSS, then it would might be easier for you. But if you don't have experience on HTML and CSS, and if you have time to learn in parallel, okay, then you have W3 schools where you can easily learn HTML and CSS. If you are experienced and want to switch company learning React, then this course would be quite important. As per market and from my experience, I can say you will certainly get minimum 40% hike. It doesn't matter even when the recession is there. Okay, you can certainly get the hike, because from my experience, I have seen this. Okay, if you are a full stack developer and you have React in your bin, opportunities are plenty actually. If you are a fresher and you know, if you are a fresher, then if you have the React or any technology, okay. So, but coming to React, the reason is that most of the companies are switching to single page applications. So developing web is quite common. Okay. So React, if you have React in your bin, considering your resume is faster actually. All companies have been migrating to this SPA. SPA nothing but single page applications. Single page applications are faster basically. They are responsive. Okay. And they do have unlimited support of JS plugin ecosystem. So this course is not for those who focus on no code or low code tools. See, I'm interested about coding. I'm interested about coding or logical thinking, right? Some may not be interested actually. So if you are interested to understand the syntax and you want to present your logical thinking into code, then it is well and good. If we think that we are little not capable of writing code and understanding these syntaxes, then it is not just this code actually. It is not just this course. Any course that is related to coding is not suitable for them actually. So having some kind of interest in writing the code is important actually. So this is quite important. So as I said, prerequisites, having HTML and CSS, that helps you certainly actually. But even if you do not have experience on HTML and CSS, you can learn in parallel HTML and CSS. It is not directly related to JavaScript actually. Okay, you can learn them in parallel. Okay, what I'm going to promise, I will give you my best. Okay, that's what I committed for. I'm going to put my entire experience to make you better. So I have attended a lot of interviews. I have taken a lot of interviews. So I'm going to put my entire experience. I know when interviewer gets happy actually, when he feels happy. When does he feel happy? If you ask one question, if we struggle to answer that question, then certainly he won't be happy actually. If you ask one question, if we could answer even the surrounding things along with the answer to that question, then he would be quite happy. And he don't think much actually. He would agree to give some kind of offer to you. Okay. So this kind of confidence and command comes from concept understanding, concept and application, and remembering that terminology. This is quite important. Okay, I want to make you that. How to get best out of this course? Okay, I want you to focus. Each statement that I make is quite important. I want you to understand. If you do not understand, please ask me. May not be in the middle of the session. At the end of the session, you do get time and ask me. Okay. So that is first thing. And second thing is that practice. If you practice more, you can remember. Okay. And the third thing is terminology. The terminology, see, if you do not, unless you know the terminology, you cannot use it in interviews or anywhere you want to speak. Okay. The terminology is important. Okay. You have to understand and you have to practice and you have to remember. This is how it is. Okay. Okay. Coming to course content, JavaScript fundamentals. That is the one. And thinking in React, how to think in React. Okay. And then React, what is it providing? Events and interactivity. Okay. How the events would work, how the interactivity, how can we handle this interactivity? Sorry. State management. How are we going to maintain state in React? Okay. When to use what? Because we do have use state, use reducer, use context, a lot of these hooks. Okay. When to use what? Okay. There is a kind of confusion when to use state, when to use ref, what is immutability. Okay. All these concepts, there is a kind of confusion actually. Unless you have clear understanding about these concepts or the hooks or whatever I'm going to explain, see, you cannot make use them properly. And then we dive into hooks and then patterns. See, patterns, you know, in for experienced candidates, usually there are kind of design patterns. Okay, design patterns. What is factory pattern? What is observable pattern? Okay, there are abstract pattern. So there are different kinds of patterns are there. These patterns basically to solve problems. Okay, what are the ways? What are the patterns that we can use in React? Okay, that kind of patterns we are going to discuss. Okay, and then conclusion. Okay, so coming to JavaScript fundamentals, we are going in a little high level about what we are going to discuss in each area. JavaScript fundamentals. Okay, that includes basics. So again, these basics come with concepts. Okay, the concept includes code examples. From these concepts, we derive interview questions, and you would be in a position to answer many of the interview questions that you find in the internet. Okay, and then thinking in React. When it comes to React or any client-side application, client-side framework, first we need to focus on what's the expectation, what BA is expecting, or any client expecting. Okay, so we have to understand what the, I'm sorry. We have to understand what the expectation is, nothing but wireframes actually. Okay, how the UI is going to be, how the UI expectation is. Okay, once we understand that, we need to split that UI into smaller components. These smaller components may pass pass information from a parent component to down component. Okay, that we do discuss. Okay, but thing is that understanding the UI, because unless we understand what the given UI is, we cannot develop components. It is completely from UI we understand how to develop components. So this is from where the thought process comes up actually. Okay, so from given UI, you have to understand how to develop a smaller components, and their interaction we should be in a position to define. Okay, as I mentioned, so there is a parent component. Of course, we are going to discuss these all, and the information would be passed from parent to child, and then child to its child. This is how it is going to be. So, and then we do talk about installations, React installation. and React UI. Again, it is from UI only we develop components. Okay, UI is the one that tells us how to develop each component. It is always good to make the components as smaller as possible, independent. The scope must be defined. Okay, it is not that we can develop everything in a single component. We can do that, but we should not do that, because each one should have its own responsibility, and as per the responsibility we have to develop components. Okay, and we do discuss about modularity. Okay, and then what is JSX? How does it helpful in developing React applications? Okay, and the dynamic nature of JSX, understanding props. Okay, conditional rendering, rendering lists, pure components. What are pure components? Okay, so these are all we are going to discuss. Events and interactivity. Okay, so far we have focused on static presentation of the given framework, wireframes, right? Now, the time when interactivity comes, when user is clicking on something or hovering on something, okay, some kind of action needs to be done, right? Okay, this is where this is called events basically. Okay, how are we handling events in React? Okay, this includes how can we get information from backend. Let us suppose from event we need to get some information, we need to process some information, right? We may have to send some information to server and show that result to a client again. Okay, that kind of thing we may have to do. Okay, it is not necessarily for each click, but most of the time we do handle some complex thing. So that kind of complex things we do discuss. So how to maintain, we do understand how life cycle of components, basically the render and commit. Okay, so this is quite important because the virtual DOM of, we do discuss the virtual DOM of React, and when does it commit to actual DOM. So understanding of layout effects. Okay, when to update the element. Okay, because the updating element happens in a synchronous way. It is not asynchronous actually. The time when you try to update an element in DOM, nothing but in browser, that is synchronous. If you do it commonly, that is performance issue. We are not supposed to do it frequently. Okay, we have to understand when to do what. And the component state, it is quite important, and how to set state, and updating objects in a state. Understanding immutability. This is very, very important. Understanding immutability. So much experienced candidates know very well about immutability. It's a very nice concept actually. We do discuss that. And updating arrays in state. Okay. This would also happen in an immutable way. Managing state. Okay. How can we manage state? Okay. So there are multiple ways. We can use state, context. Okay. These two we commonly use. It's based on demand we do use. And how do we structure our state? So we can define independently the state or group the related state together and make use. Okay, and how do we share data from one component to other component? Okay, nothing but props. Okay, and what are controlled components? What are uncontrolled components? Preserving and resetting state. Understanding reducer and context. These are important uh, when the application of state is a little complex. In such a case, we go for reducer and context. Okay. When to use what? Because we have been a lot of things, but understanding the scope of each one and when to use what is important. Okay. So we are going to discuss about all the, of course, we have to discuss the hooks while we are working on these concepts, right? Of course, we do have hooks at the end, but we do work on hooks in an application oriented way. Okay. So that you will know when to use what and the purpose of them. Okay. And so use ref, these are all related to hooks basically. Okay. How can we manipulate DOM? How can we maintain an object in a mutable way? Okay, when it comes to state, it is immutable basically. But what if we want to maintain an object in a mutable way? That's where useref comes. So life cycle of effect, separating events from effects, understanding effect dependencies, custom hooks. We do develop custom hooks. We are going to discuss all hooks. Okay. Some hooks may not be important, but I give you a rough idea with an example basically. Okay. Whenever you want to make use, you can make use. But thing is that we are going to discuss all the hooks. Okay. And the frequent hooks, the hooks which we use frequently. From my experience, I say, we are going to put more focus and we work more. And then patterns again, which I already have discussed. This is it. And coming to batch timings. So the batch is going to start from 19th, this 19th, and the timings would be from 6:30 to 7:15. Okay. The duration would be 20 to 25 days. So again, my objective is to make you better and better. I just want to make you best in the interviews and the work and in the workstation, at your workstation as well. Okay, this is all. So any questions?
What are the development tools we can install in?
Tools?
Yeah.
So Visual Studio Code is the one that you need to install and Node is the one that you need to install. These are the two fundamental things.
Okay. Node
So
means
Visual Studio.
NPM node.
Yes, Node. So see, the time when you install Node, NPM would also be shipped. Okay, you don't need to install separately.
Okay.
And Visual Studio Code is the IDE, okay, integrated development environment where you can work actually, where you can experiment, where you can develop applications in real time. These are the two important.
Anything needed to install the React framework? Oh.
See, if you have Node, we can install anything actually. Okay. So we need to make use packages, React DOM. Okay. So these can be installed on the fly. The time when we are creating applications, these won't take much time actually. Okay. But thing is that you need to have Node installed in your machine and the IDE, nothing but Visual Studio Code. Okay. So the Node is to support pull the packages from online, and the IDE is to make use these packages and work on React.
Yeah.
So do you think this 20 days would be enough?
See, let me explain you. If your expectation is, if your expectation is me to explain everything in JavaScript, then this is not sufficient. Okay.
No,
If you-
not everything.
One
So
second.
whatever the content you have
Yeah,
shown,
yeah.
right? So I'm
Yeah.
just expecting that only.
Yeah. So expect what I am teaching you, what I'm going to teach you. So
Okay.
the thing is that it is not now I have been started working on this. I have been working for past 15 years. I have full command on JavaScript. Okay, that is
Yeah,
first thing.
yeah,
And second
right.
thing is that for past 6 years, I have been working on React.
Oh, great.
6
Okay.
years actually. More than
Yeah.
6 years, I have been working on React. Me understanding the concepts and processing the information is quite easier actually. I can process the information. I can get the best content from it actually, from the internet. Okay, so I know what kind of information to teach. So I'm very focused. Each statement that I'm making in class is very, very important actually. That relates another concept in the sense next statement. That's how they are chained. Okay, this is how we are
Got
going
it.
to learn.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
So I'm very
Clear.
focused and we go in sequence.
Okay, sure. Yeah, now it makes sense. Yeah.
And if we have less experience, let us suppose I have 1 year experience. In such a case, I have to understand again. Okay, what is I have to get best out of. I have to see the best content for use effect, use ref, and I have to see. I have to search for it actually. If
Yeah,
I'm
no,
already
my question is,
experienced,
my question is not, for in your point of view, like whether we will be able to understand it or not. That's why I asked that
you will
question.
be able to understand. You'll be able to understand.
Yeah, yeah, then it's
So
good.
I just want you to be focused. You should have
Yeah,
focus.
sure.
That's it.
Yeah, sure.
Any questions further?
So for doing the practicals, do you give any coding challenge or how we can
I do
practice
share.
it?
How do you? I do share. I do share code examples. Please ask questions if you have. And do not hesitate, because unless you know, you cannot answer questions in interviews, right? Asking and learning is important.
So as part of this, Krishna, so coding standards, you will cover the coding standards too, like.
Dharma, the time when we are working on, we do understand practically the kind of naming and the kind of development we have to follow.
Yeah.
But when it comes to conventions, actually, it is little high level actually. Okay, so unless we have kind of project to work on. Okay, so if we have a project, then we do think about the folder structure, naming convention, where to keep what. Okay, and the kind of scripts we need to run. Okay, that kind of things we do focus. Okay, and segregation, can we develop in multiple projects? So that kind of segregation we do focus. But when it comes to concepts, I just really want to focus on concepts. I just want to make you very, very strong in concepts so that you would be familiar in concepts and you will be stronger in interview questions. At the same time, you would be stronger in doing your work. The time when you are facing some kind of work, actually, you can work freely, understanding these concepts. Majorly, I'm focusing two things. You would be in a position to clear the interview. And second thing is that you can work freely.
Okay.
These are the two things I'm focusing on. So, but not related to this course, I do have future plans like full stack development, where a full stack application like React, front-end React, back-end Node with MongoDB, the complete full stack application, the kind of planning I'm planning to have actually, but it is not now. It takes few days. Okay, that is completely full stack, and that includes everything actually. That includes coding standards and everything. Any other questions?
So this Node.js is backend. And I thought it's a front end.
No.
No.
When it comes to Node.js provides you environment basically, an environment where you can run the JavaScript. Okay, that is first thing. If you install Node.js in your machine, you can run JavaScript. That is first thing. Okay, what does it have? What does this Node.js have to run this JavaScript? The Node.js has Chrome's V8 engine basically. V8 engine. If you see, if you have browser, right? Chrome, Google Chrome. That Chrome would have V8 engine basically inside of it. Okay, browsers would provide these engines. It can be SpiderMonkey that is provided by Firefox, and Safari would have its own engine, right? Okay, every browser would have its own engine. This engine is helpful to run JavaScript. Okay, now the Node.js itself also has engine, that is V8 engine. This engine is helpful to run the JavaScript. Okay, if you install in your local, then you would be in a position to run the JavaScript. If you want to run it on server,
ఆగాలి, అర్ధగంట ఆగాలి. అది ప్రాబ్లం. నేను అప్పుడు బైక్ తీసుకోకపోవడానికి
if you want to run it on server, wherever your code is running, this JavaScript code is running, there you need to have this engine in the form of Node.js, right? So in the form of Node.js, we do install and we do run JavaScript. That's how it is. Did I answer your question?
No. Actually, I thought like
So we do need Node.js in development. The time when deploy application, there also we do need Node.
okay, backend in a sense, I thought of calling any web API or any service. So
Now, can you please ask your question again, Ramana? So if you want to run JavaScript, do we need Node or not, right?
yeah, that is answered by you. So
Okay.
Node.js is having some engine and it will run the JavaScript. That is okay. But
Okay.
You said Node.js in terms of backend, right? So I thought backend means the UI will be calling any web service or something. So
see, there are two things actually. You will be maintaining one project, that is client project. The other one is backend server project. Okay. The server project would receive requests from the client project that can be developed in React, Angular, or some kind of frameworks actually. Okay.
Okay.
So the client would make request to the server, and the server is again running on Node. Okay.
Okay. So
the node is not for front end actually. Don't think that the node is limited to front end. The node actually made the code work on back end. Okay, the node is for back end actually, but in order to develop our applications, we need to have the node in development environment.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Any other questions? So no questions?
One question. So you told about MongoDB.
Yes.
So, uh,
No,
So, like-
here we are not discussing about MongoDB in this course actually. It is specific to React actually.
okay, just to
No, we
Yeah.
are not discussing about full stack here. We are focusing on JavaScript fundamentals and React.
okay.
Is there any
At least to
confusion, Ramana?
show no. At least to show some data from the DB. So, are we
No,
going to use
the
that,
focus would be distracted, Ramana. The focus would be distracted actually. Just I want to be very, very focused on JavaScript fundamentals and React.
Okay. Yeah.
Hi, Sacha. So, if you do not have any questions, we can conclude this session now.
Yeah, sure, Bala. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So I don't have any questions. Yeah, I see the content is very good. Yeah, you carved out a nice plan. Yeah, thanks for the intro.
Yeah, thanks, Tippy. Thanks, team. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.
Thanks, Krishna. Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.